Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, A Wicked and an End Adulterous Generation. And this is from Matthew 16 verse 4. A wicked and adulterous generation. He's talking about Israelites. He's not talking to the Romans. He's not talking to any other nation. He's talking to the Israelites. Matter of fact, this is the first verse. So he's talking to the wicked scribes and Pharisees, Sadducees, Pharisees and Sadducees, which are Israelites. Now I may go into the difference between a Pharisee and a Sadducee. It says the Pharisees and also with the Sadducees came, which were both Israelites, and tempting desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. If they say that you're the Messiah, we want you to show us a sign from heaven. If you receive the sign from heaven, then you no longer need faith. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say, it will be fair weather. For the sky is red. And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Now, what do you mean by that? He meant by him coming on the scene because he did everything that the prophets spoke of. And if they couldn't get any other signs when he was up on the cross, they should have got this sign then. They should have immediately thought of the Psalm of David, which is the 22nd Psalm. Even other Psalms too. David said, thou shalt not leave me in hell for my body to see corruption. I'm merely paraphrasing. He was talking about the Lord being in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights. So he gave him a sign that was going to happen to him. And when he was crucified and put in the grave and it went out that he rose up, they still didn't accept him as being the Messiah. He fulfilled all the signs. It says, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. Why do they seek after a sign? Because, like I said, they had no faith. And when you deal with these Christians and these black conscious people and whatever other group that comes against us, they want you to go. They'll go into books. Like Sarnetta, he said that he came to the camp. It was either, I believe it was the first or second time he came to the camp, that he said, where's the tombs or the bones of the prophets and the bones of this and that and the third. And so he was seeking after a sign. He wanted tangible evidence. He wanted tangible evidence that that the prophets existed, and, the Most High existed, which we're not supposed to deal with those people. Deal with them as far as the truth is concerned. Just like the Lord did not want to deal with the wicked scribes and Pharisees and Sadducees. And like I said, I'm going to show you a difference between the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And for you dullards out there, some people are called, well, you guys are a bunch of Pharisees. Well, what do you mean by that? Pharisees were just an organization. First of all, none of us are Pharisees because that was an organization at that particular time. Until you make a group up called the Pharisees or the Sadducees, we're none of them. And besides, the Apostle Paul he never gave up his Pharisee card, so to speak. He said he was a Pharisee. He used his status as a Pharisee against the Sadducees to make the Pharisees take his side. He said his father was a Pharisee. Don't you know that there were wicked Pharisees and righteous Pharisees? There were Pharisees that followed Yahushua. There were priests that followed Yahushua. It tells you about that, the priests in Acts, the 6th chapter. It says, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. That means you have no faith. If you can't show me picture the Most High, give me some bones and say that this is the bones of, like I said, what the black consciousness guys do. They'll go into books and they'll read about this was dug up and this is this pharaoh and this is that pharaoh and this is this queen and that's that king. And who dug it up for him? Esau. See, there would not be any conscious community or Egyptology, that's what they used to call it, if it wasn't for the white man. What's this guy? Antituap? I can't his first name. Something Antitiop. He was an Israelite, by the way. He was from Nigeria. He went to France to study Africanism, so to speak, Egyptology. Somebody help me out. Help me out with his name. And then later on, you had another prominent name, Dr. Ben Yayakim. By the way, Dr. Ben means son of, and Yayakim means Jacob. So when Jake pulls out these books and pulls out these relics and take you to tours to Egypt, if it wasn't for the white man, you wouldn't be calling yourself Africans. Kemetic people. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and departed. So what was he telling them? When I die, and it's reported that I've been put in a tomb, and after 3 days I rose from the tomb, that should come back to your mind that, yep, he said that, so he's a Messiah. But they still didn't get that he was the Messiah. Right. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it says he's telling you, beware the leaven of the Pharisees, that they're really wicked. They're not seeking for truth. They doubt. They don't believe I'm the Messiah, and no matter what I show them, they're not going to believe it. That's why he used the sky. He said you can see things in the sky and know that something's going to come the next day, whether it's going to be fair weather or bad weather. And the signs are given to you. You have the Torah. You will learn it. So anyway, I said all that to say this. Okay, where am I? I wanted to deal with the word adultery. So there's a video I watched, not even a minute of it, and I said I had to make a video looking for a topic. South Carolina faces HIV crisis. HIV, when they say HIV, what comes behind is HIV/AIDS. Here it is right there. HIV/AIDS, which is the same thing. HIV, human immunodeficiency. Immuno goes to your immune system. Deficiency, that your immune system is not working up to par. And immune means in service. Virus. You have a weakened immune system. Is a virus that attacks the body's immune system. So if you have a weakened immune system, people don't die of HIV/AIDS, they die of flus and other things. And viruses out there, period. The Most High, when he gave you this body, he gave you an immune system for the very reason to protect you from these viruses. So if you have a well-functioning, immune system, you don't got to worry about anything. That's why most of the time, people that don't take care of themselves, their immune system suffers. Their telomeres become short. Look that word up. Look up telomeres. You have a shortened telomeres, you have a shortened life. Some doctor said, some scientist said, heard the other day, I forget who he was talking to another scientist / doctor, health expert. And the guy said, if for every hour that you work out, really work out, you add 3 hours to your life. So if you were very active, you ate the right foods, and you were very active, you weren't morbidly obese or whatever, me, I'm a little overweight. I got maybe 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds on me. I should be at the weight I was in my high school when I was about 170. I'm about, maybe right now, I'm probably, because I ate a fairly good sized breakfast, so I should be either anywhere from 185 to 190. So I should be at my high school weight, 10th grade, let's say 11th grade. I should be about 170. So you got a person that should be 170, that's 230. That's obesity. And your what is it called? BHI. Is that it? Let me see. I'm sorry. That's Black Hebrew Israelites. BHI is body. What is it? Somebody help me out. It's index. It gives you the percentage of fat, ratio between your muscle and fat, how much fat your body has. Body mass index. Body mass index. Average person body mass index should be about, if you're in decent shape, you should be about at 15. 20, a little high. 25 is high. Some people, half of their weight is fat, so that could be 50 to 55% body fat. That's a no-no. Guarantee you're not healthy. BMI, body mass index. So you should be down maybe 10%. 10%. You need a certain amount of fat on you anyway. Bodybuilders, their thing is to be ripped, to have as very little body fat as they can. And sometimes it's 5%, sometimes it's 3%. But that's dangerous because you need a certain amount of body fat. I don't know what the actual percentage is. I would say if you're 15%, between 10 and 15%, and you're a healthy person, athletic person, eat the right foods, that sounds about right. If HIV and AIDS is the acronym for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. You diagnosed with HIV, AIDS. First thing you want to do is completely change your diet to a healthy diet. And cut out the sugars, the carbs, the garbage. Eat whole foods. And then you have an exercise program. I did 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Normally it was 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Now I'm down to the same amount, 2 miles, with the weights. I had 10-pound weights, 5 pound each hand, and I was shadow boxing with the weights. I was moving at a pretty good pace. So I did 2 miles in like 40 minutes, maybe a little less. And as you walk faster, you might add on another half a mile, another mile, 3 miles. Or you may add on weights to you. So I had the hand weights, and I was doing different exercise with the hand weights, and I was sweating. I just took my t-shirt off. It was drenching wet. And it was a little on the cool side today. Wasn't hot. Don't feel like summer. So anyway, adultery leads to HIV, AIDS, syphilis, gonorrhea. So this video popped up, the Trey King Show, and I subscribed to him. I don't remember when, but South Carolina faces, think of South Carolina, you think of Jake, faces HIV crisis after 15,000, that's 15K people have tested positive. And how about the ones that don't test? How about the ones that are afraid to get tested? So this is by state. HIV diagnosis, HIV AIDS. Now check this out. This is per 100,000, right? 32.3 out of 100,000, which doesn't seem like a lot. But it should be down to 0. You know, if you wasn't out there committing the adultery, if the woman wasn't out there hoeing, being prostitutes and sleeping with different men and creeping, and because Jake woman is completely out of control, out of order. That's why I say stay away from him. And then pretty much all these women are out of order. Anton Daniel said the other day, and I did a video on it, from his experiences in dealing with people, he would say that 98% of women, all women out there, most he's dealing with Jake women, 98% of them are 304s. They sleep around. And Jake is completely out of control because of the laws. Now, if the Most High was to put to death all the women among Jake, you wouldn't have no women. You have a small handful of women. Real talk. Now, what I did was I put in the word adultery, and a bunch of precepts popped up. I'll read some of them. But anyway, DC, the DMV. Who's down there? That's they call that a chocolate city. Jake is heavily into adultery down there. Georgia, Jake. Louisiana, Jake. Florida, Jake in the Latin tribes. Mississippi, Jake. Nevada, Jake. South Carolina, Jake. Texas, Jake. Alabama, Jake. Maryland, Jake, which is part of the DMV. So you meet a Jake woman out there, she's gonna tell you what you want to hear. Guarantee you, she been sleeping around with a lot of, a lot of dudes out there, maybe even a lot of women too, because they go both ways. The Jake women, they don't talk about it, but they go both ways. They get mad at the dude because they think that they were being treated badly, so they'll say, "Oh, let's go try a woman," and she'll get with a woman, and shit won't work out with a woman. Then she'll go back to the man and swear she ain't on. I ain't one of them. Here you got the IUIC going all the way to Africa and Smyrna when they asked it should be over here in America. But you got 3,000 men. That's how many camps. If there's 3,000 men marching, they're all supposed to be qualified men. Half of 3,000, was that 1,500, half of 1,500? We're talking about, what are we talking about? 750 camps out there. Over 500 camps should be out there all throughout the state. Because this is the place that's going to be destroyed. But Nate and them, Nate likes to jet set. That's the only reason why he goes out there. Nothing pans out with them congregations outside of the United States. The focus is here in the U.S. It says South Carolina faces HIV crisis after 15,000 people have tested positive. So adultery is going on big time in these places where Israel is. And these are all Israelites. You got Edomites there and Gad and Latin tribes. But it's mostly Israel. Your black woman don't give a damn. She spread her legs for a damn McDonald's cheeseburger. And like I said, she goes both ways. That's why Paul said what he said. It's best not to have a woman. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this short. So I put in the word adultery. Adultery pops up 40 times in the Old and New Testament in 33 verses. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's one of the 10. We call them the top 10. And the penalty of adultery is death. You get put to death. You got men that through the Spirit, they realize their woman is out there with somebody else. They'll kill that woman. They'll kill the man and the woman. So that was the spirit that was on that man. But then he'll get locked up because he murdered. But the law of the scriptures is anybody caught in the act of adultery, the penalty is even the New Testament says a sin unto death. Breaking the Sabbath in any way is death. If you break the Sabbath in any way, that's death. And we're all guilty of breaking the Sabbath one way or another. (20:10), Leviticus, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. But this is a adulterous generation. This is an adulterous country. Adultery goes on every day. Millions of times. Millions upon millions of times adultery goes on. If you have a woman that had a man still living, even though they broke up 10 years ago, guess what? She kept her body clean for 10 years. The only way you're justified in dealing with her is if that man died. That's why King David set up Uriah the Hittite, which he was an Israelite, to be killed so he can be justified and to continue to lay with this man's wife. So the prophet, Nathan the prophet, straightened his ass out, made him condemn himself. That man should be put to death. He said, "You are that man." Jeremiah 7 verse 9, we will still murder and commit adultery and swear falsely and burn incense unto Baal and walk after other gods whom we know not. That's why the Most High gonna wipe Jake out. He's only saving a remnant. Any Jake in the church system will be wiped, in America will be wiped out, will be burnt up. Brujeria, Santeria, black consciousness, Egyptology, Kemetic, Moors, Islam. When the judgment come, all of you gonna really think that the Lord coming for me. Lord ain't coming for you. And you ones that know that you're Israelite, the Lord ain't coming for a lot of you either, because a lot of y'all are demons. The Israel of Israel is who? The Israel of the Most High is who? The elect. And what do the elect do? What do they do? They learn, they eat, they swallow, they eat, consume the roll, and they go out and teach. Very simple. The scriptures is very simple, man. For you guys, well, I just came in. I've been in this thing for 2 years. I don't know what to teach. Teach the basics. Teach what you learned in 2 years. You learned something. So there's no excuse. A guy that's been in this thing in the camp, for most guys that come into the camp, they've been in the audience for a couple years. Then we'll get a call. Yeah, there's two brothers. They want to join the camp, and we think they should be in the camp. And they've been out there, on the other side watching us for 2.5 years, and they're diligent and so forth. So I said, yeah, if you think they're good brothers, let them in the camp. Some Jakes just join this. They see a lot of these our people. There's a whole lot of different camps, so it's something to get into. So a lot of these Jakes that get into these camps, a lot of them are not going to make it. If their leader become disenchanted, they become disenchanted because they like the leader. He's a cult of personality. Look that up. Let me look up this word. Cast away. I believe that's 1 Corinthians 9, if I'm not mistaken. I was right. But this is Paul speaking. But I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, meaning I keep myself in order. I'm disciplined. I'm a stoic. Paul was a stoic. And the elect men that constantly doing videos, that's constantly out there, that's constantly doing what they're supposed to do and pushing this word out like their life depended upon it, and it does. Those are stoics. You got some guys that are half-assed. They do videos. When they get around to it, Could be once a week. It might be a 10-minute video. Could be once a month. They don't do video for 6 months. You don't see it for 6 months. All of a sudden, something happens in the news. Some major event happens in the news, and you can't come out there like you never left. That's an Epicurean. And we're going to go into those words, Stoic, and the difference between a Stoic and an Epicurean. If you're one of the elect, you get to be a Stoic. But I keep under my body and bring it under subjection. Paul did things where he might have not wanted to do that. He might have not wanted to get up and deal with them people. He wanted to sleep late, but he had to get up. Lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a what? A castaway. You don't want to be a guy that's teaching, bringing all kind of people in, and then you fall off, and them people that you brought in, they become diligent. Look up the word shipwrecked. It's either shipwrecked or shipwrecked. Let me try this. Okay, I don't want that. Let me do it this way. Let me do this. Let me try it this way. Okay. 1 Timothy 1 verse 19. Holding faith and a good conscience, which some having put away. Your faith, we know that your faith is weak because you're not doing anything. Concerning faith having made shipwreck. Let me do this. Let me look this up in the NLT. Cling to your faith in Yahushua, Hamashiach, and keep your conscience clear. For some people have deliberately violated their conscience. They did what they weren't supposed to do. As a result, their faith has been shipwrecked. I'll use an example. Hymenaeus and Alexander are two examples. They were in the truth and they fell out, they got weak. So the Apostle Paul cursed them. He put upon them the curse of anathema, maranatha, set to the side to be judged. I threw them out and handed them over to Satan so they might learn not to blaspheme the Most High. So guess what? The Apostle Paul called Satan. I'm going to call Satan on you. I'm going to call the beast on you. Inside joke. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.